Have you ever spent your entire life sacrificing for your children, only to realize they saw your savings as their money? I never imagined my own son would look at my retirement account the same way someone looks at an ATM. After 42 years of working, skipping vacations, and saving every extra dollar, I finally retired. I thought those savings represented freedom. To him, they represented opportunity. What happened next changed our relationship forever. And honestly, I don't regret what I did. My name is Richard. I'm 70 years old. I spent over 4 decades working as an electrical engineer. I wasn't rich. I simply lived below my means. While many of my coworkers upgraded their cars every few years, I drove mine until it had over 200,000 miles. When they bought larger homes, I stayed in the same modest house. Every paycheck had one purpose: security, not luxury. My wife, Linda, and I always agreed on one thing. We never wanted to become a burden on our children. So we invested carefully, saved consistently, avoided unnecessary debt. When Linda passed away 5 years ago, keeping our financial plan became even more important. I promised her I would remain independent for as long as I could. That promise meant everything to me. My son, Jason, was 42. Smart. Successful. Or at least that's how everyone described him. He had a nice house, a luxury SUV, private school tuition for his kids, annual vacations, designer furniture. From the outside, his life looked perfect. Then one Sunday afternoon, he came over looking unusually nervous. "Dad," he said, "I need your help." Of course I listened. Parents always do. He explained that he'd made some risky investments. The market had turned against him. He owed nearly $100,000. He called it an emergency. Then he smiled. "You have retirement savings." Not, "Could you help me?" Not, "What are you comfortable giving?" Instead, "You've got plenty." That sentence hit me harder than any financial request ever could. It wasn't a question. It was an expectation. I told Jason I needed time to think. He wasn't happy. The following week he called almost every day. He reminded me of everything he'd ever done for me. Driving me to doctor's appointments, helping with yard work, visiting during holidays. Then came the guilt. "You don't need that much money. You're already retired. What are you saving it for?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Retirement wasn't about today. It was about tomorrow. What if I needed assisted living? What if medical expenses exploded? What if I lived another 25 years? Jason never asked those questions. He only saw numbers sitting in an account. To him, unused money was wasted money. Soon my daughter-in-law called. She explained how stressful the situation had become. Then my granddaughter asked if Grandpa was going to help Daddy. I realized something. Jason had already told the family I was paying. Without asking me. Without my permission. He had spent my retirement money. Before I had even agreed. That hurt more than the request itself. Because respect had disappeared. Entitlement had replaced gratitude. I invited Jason over one final time. I made coffee. Sat him at the kitchen table. Then I handed him an envelope. He smiled before opening it. He probably expected a cashier's check. Instead, inside was a copy of my retirement budget. Monthly expenses. Medical estimates. Long-term care projections. Investment withdrawals. Every dollar had a purpose. I looked him in the eye. I spent 42 years building this safety net. It isn't an emergency fund. It's my independence. He stared silently. Then he became angry. So you're choosing money over family? I calmly replied, no, I'm choosing responsibility over irresponsibility. There is a difference. Jason left that afternoon without saying goodbye. For several months, we barely spoke. Eventually, he sold his expensive SUV, downsized his home, reduced his lifestyle, negotiated with his creditors. He solved the problem himself. Looking back, I realized something important. Sometimes helping your children means refusing to rescue them. Because every bailout delays a lesson. Every consequence avoided creates another crisis later. Today, Jason and I have rebuilt our relationship. Not because I gave him money, but because I taught him something more valuable. Retirement savings are not an inheritance waiting to be claimed. They are the reward for a lifetime of discipline. If your children truly love you, they'll want your retirement to be secure, not sacrificed. And if someone believes your life savings belong to them, perhaps they don't need your money. They need your boundaries. Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, share it with someone who believes retirement should mean peace, not pressure. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more powerful stories about family, money, and the difficult choices that shape our lives.